Like,
Did you guys in high school work on a lathe? Did you guys have woodworking in high school?
He's
Not
big
in high
into
school.
woodworking.
I've got a lathe in the shop.
He's big into woodworking. Like I would say, like
Used to be.
he's like a black belt in amateur woodworking. I grew up on a farm and like doing basic shit. Like I could put some shingles on your house and patch them up, and like I built a shed before. I know how to swing a hammer, but that's about the extent.
And what do you actually know how to make things with the lathe?
Yeah. Lathe work. I didn't do anything super fancy, but I would make like beds and stuff that had carved posts and things like that. So they'd have to get them all to match and stuff. I was into making like heirloom style furniture, things that had no metal in all their connectors. It was all mortise and tenon and joints and wedges and shit like that. And I got into this like Neanderthal kind. So I'd use like old fucking what is the drill called where you crank the middle
the hand
of it?
drill. You could just call it a hand drill, I think.
Sure, there's a name for it though. Like I'd use all the hand drills and start my mortises that way with chisels, and I'd use hand planes to surface all the wood and stuff.
No shit.
Yeah, it's a really you like find a piece of furniture that's worth $1,000, and I could make it for $3,000 in 100 hours.
Yeah.
So like it wasn't like a money saver or anything, but it was a hobby that I was into.
Mm-hmm. That's how a lot of hobbies are, though. You know, at least you're Woody is a collector of hobbies. I like it. I like it, and that should be your life. Like our life should be a collection of hobbies. Really, if you want to stay active and always be learning things into adulthood, and you get the means to not have to be a 9 to 5 every day. Sleep. What do you mean a hobby? I'm fucking tired. If you break free of that, then that should be about collecting hobbies. At some point, Woody will have most of the talents of like a regular action star, right? He's got the shooting, the fighting, the motorcycle driving. He's a pilot. He's a award-winning dancer.
Oh, yeah.
What am I missing? There's several more. All of these are true. All of these are true.
Wait. Can I ask questions now on the list?
Yeah.
Let's start with award-winning dancer.
There was a big dance competition with YouTube internet celebrities, and he won it.
That's how I paid off my first house.
Wait, when was this? Where can I see it? What was the dance? Don't skim over this shit.
So we're leaving out that I wasn't actually a great dancer. I was good enough for a few minutes to look okay.
He's being
modest. And
that's how you win awards, baby.
In bed, or are you?
Maybe a few seconds.
All right.
But what happened was this: like the winners were chosen on popularity. So I had a good enough dance not to embarrass myself. It looked okay. And then I would live stream every day. I'd make videos every day, reminding people to vote for me in these videos. And I used my audience to basically stuff the ballot box and pay off my house.
Just like American Idol.
Did you? What was the dance?
So I forget the woman's name.
There were several.
Cat or something.
She was pretty hot. She had a great body.
Something.
Is it?
Yeah, she was Katy
Strut?
Perry's lead dancer. She had a name that you don't hear every day. Yeah, there's me. And anyway, this was a choreographer. She was Katy Perry's lead dancer, and we would spend like a week learning the routine. And then at the end of the week, we would film it. It was 2 weeks the first time, 1 week the second.
Man.
Round. And we just, filmed our routine. And this is just bad. This isn't the routine.
How much did you win?
Practice. 37.5, I think. $37,500.
What?
Yeah, this is from like 11 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the other one that you skipped over that I'm interested in is you said a skilled fighter. What does that mean?
Yeah. He has trained years of Brazilian jiu-jitsu and at least a year or so of boxing sparring under professional tutelage. He has befriended and trained with professional fighters, some of which have been in the top 10 of their weight divisions in the UFC. They predate the rankings, but even so, it's true. He's also lived with a professional fighter and trained under his personal tutelage for a month before. Sort of a Mr. Miyagi type situation.
Keep saying tutelage. I like
everything I've said is accurate.
Yeah.
So you're Tom Cruise.
Bit of a Renaissance man, he is.
People mix this up all.
He now goes on cross country hardcore motorcycle rides. where he's broken a few bones along the way. He also does.
I've broken every arm and leg at this point.
Yeah, he does this crazy stunt flying. He does lots of parachuting and.
When you say every arm and leg, you make it sound like you have more than 2 of each.
He does. It's like a Goro type situation.
Okay. Yeah, when you're like every arm and leg, I'm like, how many are we talking here, dude?
8.
Just the 4.
8. He's an arachnoman, and that's how he gets so much done.
Woody is so into hobbies that, like, I swear, within 10 years, he's gonna be religious because he will have run out of stuff.
That's what happened to his dad.
And then just like his dad, he'll be like, I guess I'm a fucking Christian now. Like, it's
literally what
I'm gonna go take all my vacations in Israel. Like my dad, he was right.
Your father, I bet your father would have. We talked about that gentleman recently who's a super cyclist, right? The 60-year-old. He's just about to be 60, and now as a 60-year-old, it's like, oh, I've been killing the 59 and younger division. Now in the 60s, I'm gonna dominate. But your dad was a pretty serious cyclist, right? Like maybe not on some national ranked level, but like more than anything I'd ever heard of. How many miles would your dad put in a week at his best?
700.
700 miles a week on his bike.
I don't do that in my car, man.
Nope.
Yeah.
I will tell you though, my dad turned 85 this year and has been shooting his age in golf for 5 years.
Wow.
Nice.
Oh, okay. That's strong.
Yeah, and here's the type of dude he is. He's 85, right? And he shot an 84. And I said, dude, you're still shooting your own age. He was like, yeah, but it's an 84. You can't be happy about that. I'm like, you're old as fuck, man. You're 85.
Dude.
The fact that you're playing 18 is great. The fact that you're shooting an 84 is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But does he ride the cart?
He's earned the cart at 85.
And I'll tell you something else. The clubs don't let him walk. They're like, no, dude, you're in the cart. They won't let him.
Of course, that's some liability stuff. We don't want any older gentlemen. We don't want any older gentlemen walking around on our course. Sir, have a seat right here. I'll drive you to the next hole and have a beverage on me.
I don't want
baby aspirin complimentary.
You want a beer or something?
Oh, let me get your arm over here. Yeah, looking good, sir. Blood pressure.
Do you have an 85-year-old dying walking up the hill on the 15th hole?
It's a bad look. They have to shut the whole green down. All the parties on the front 9 are like, what the fuck?
Some alarmed golfer is going to be like, shanked that one and find your dad.
But they're not sure if they can play the ball off his dead body. They're like, do I move it off of here?
Play it as it lies.
We play PKA
play it as
rules.
he lies.
Play it as he lies.
Yeah, but my dad is but it sounds like your dad, man. He's so focused. He works out, I think 4 days a week. He golfs 5 days a week. He takes
also
I think 3 classes. He teaches a couple classes. Like this dude goes.
My father just stopped running recently. Like he used to run every day. Now he just rides his bike because he's 75 or something like that, 76.
Yeah.
And it was hard on his knees to keep running. But he still exercises all the time. Another
accolade for Woody. He's also got a 6-pack at almost 50, which is pretty rad.
Pretty impressive.
Like that's got if you keep making percentages of the population who have achieved any of these things, it's like him, maybe like John Travolta and some Indian dance star we've never heard of.
You talking about a 6-pack?
6-pack plus dance winner plus motorcyclist.
I don't got that.
The combat training, like we got
that.
All of his little circle diagrams. You know, when we overlap enough, it's just like him.
The Venn diagram is just Woody in there.
Absolutely, but everyone has their own Venn diagram.
It's like him and The Rock.
Him and The Rock. No, The Rock doesn't fly around. He's too large.
Yeah, he's not a pilot. He doesn't know how to fly.
He would be horrible in the air.
Woody's got wind
resistance.
Woody's got this ridiculous thing he flies around called a paramotor, where he's got like a parachute behind him plus a fan on his back, and he zooms around the skies at like many thousands of feet. And occasionally people who do this silly hobby get sucked up. They call it cloud suck. And they go, they take them up to the higher than fucking airliners fly. And you're sitting there with your little goggles on, your cell phone. And that's all you fucking got. And you get so cold and hypoxic that you go to sleep.
They fall
The air's
asleep.
thin up there, so you start coming on back down. And you and you're so cold and ice is all over you, and you're like, what can I do? Nothing until you go up a lot high again because you're getting sucked and you go hypoxic again, up and down, wake up, fall asleep, and hope that you wake up again. Hope that you wake up again and the cloud doesn't keep taking you until you're done. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And this is what Woody does for fun.
Bowling.
That's such a good storyteller. It's all true though.
What the fuck are you talking about?
That's what he does for fun.
Paramount.
Yeah,
what?
Cloud suck is if it's what the fuck cumulo.
It's like God.
You do that on purpose?
Yeah.
No, I don't. You try to avoid cloud suck. You try to stay to the edges of the cloud
while you're
so that
flying
you
as
can
a
get
pilot.
away. But if you find yourself in the middle of it, then it's a big problem.
So has that happened to you?
No, I've never been unable to get down, but getting down is one of the things I'm really good at. Like, I'm an acrobatic paramotor pilot, so I'm losing altitude is like, I don't brag a lot, but I'm like better than everybody at getting down.
Yeah.
Almost.
Can I ask you,
Woody's been training for like the last 3 years, going to like these special retreats where they like practice all sorts of weird maneuvers and stuff.
But Woody, what is there anything you're scared to do?
Oh, well, I'm scared of all these things. Yeah, I
yeah.
just do it anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's true. If anybody does stuff like this, everybody's scared.
You have to respect it. Otherwise,
anytime you do anything crazy like this, everybody's scared.
There's kind of an arrogance that I think that I can handle these troublesome situations. Of course, they get hurt all the time. It's not always true, but yeah, like it's not that I'm not scared, or like sometimes I'm like, why am I even doing this? But afterwards, it's like, oh, that was a blast. I really enjoyed doing that.
Okay. Is there anything? So scare is not the right word, but is there anything you're like, I'm not doing that?
Base jumping, right? Didn't you say base jumping?
The base jumping's it just seems like bad decision making. So the thing is with paragliding where I am, I have 2 reserve parachutes. I've had an accident where the first reserve parachute didn't work. Like my wing wasn't flying. I was spiraling to the ground. I threw my reserve parachute. It got caught up in the wing as I was spiraling. I threw my second reserve parachute seconds before I hit the ground. I rode that reserve for like 15 seconds and landed, and I was fine. Like very close to death. But that illustrates how I had like 3 opportunities to fix this: my regular wing, my first reserve, and my second reserve. The problem with base jumping, they don't have a reserve. There is no plan B. They're jumping from 400 feet. If plan A doesn't work out, plan B is get hurt.
I watched one died this week.
Yeah,
did you see the jump? They did a coordinated jump, 4 guys in pairs.
Yes.
Your first pair jumped, and then the second pair was coming right after him. And one guy's chute didn't open. He was on the right, and he splatted. He hit the ground hard.
No.
And it was like river rocks, the kind that are about this big.
I saw a different one.
Was he okay?
Oh.
I saw a pilot land into the guy below him's parachute.
Oh, that's what you're right. But they hit the rock, right?
If I recall correctly,
I remember thinking he's dead.
Like you said, 2 jumped, then 2 jumped.
Yeah.
Second jumper hits the first jumper's parachute.
You're right.
Then second jumper's chute deploys. First jumper's chute is ruined now, and he pile drives into the ground.
That's what it was. You're right.
He might have died. I don't know.
The other guy on top of him?
No, the other guy got free of his chute.
He got fouled by a person.
Yeah. So the other guy, they call it a bird's nest. He hit the lower parachute, turned it into a bird's nest, an ineffective bunch of fabric. But he was able to get his chute deployed eventually. His parachute. And the guy who he hit is now his victim, and he piles into the ground. I don't know his injuries.
Hard. He hit hard. I remember thinking, that's death, or so close to death that let's hope it was death.
Woody, what's your worst accident you've had?
Broke my leg. I was a newer pilot. I launched poorly. So when you first bring your wing up, you get a lot of lift, right? So you think of air as going sideways, but if you stand on a cliff, the air goes up. Like it rushes up the hill and goes up. So when you bring your wing up, it pulled me straight in the air. The first time I did that, I handled it okay. But the second time I didn't. Like my body position was all fouled up. Like imagine you're sitting on a swing and someone incredibly strong, Superman, pulls the chains up really fast. You might find yourself in like an awkward position. It's hard to keep your feet to be the lowest part of you. You might land on your ass, right? Because you're just sort of in the air, unable to right yourself. And the way I landed, like I guess I planted a toe and then bent it backwards, like towards behind me.
Mhm.
And oh yeah, so I guess your leg has 4 bones that kind of connect your foot to your leg, and I broke 3 of those. So that sucked.
Yikes.
Almost
I think
footless.
that's my I think that's my
Yeah.
worst accident, that one.
Yeah.
But
So,
the
yeah,
high ankle
what-
sprain was worse than the broken bones.
he's also a lifeguard who saved over 200 people's lives. Also accurate. And he was award-winning swimmer as well. Many accolades to his name, regional and
Back in the
local
day.
events. Yeah. Well, I mean, shit. What we want to talk about stuff now? We want to talk about making millions of fucking dollars. What we talk about?
Why are we doing
Man, I
this?
haven't,
He's
I
a
haven't
real
done
winner.
anything cool. This is good. We should do this sometimes where we pump each other up, tearing each other down.
I was gonna say this is a real.
Oh, I'm a good hype man. You want me to do you next, Josh? Oh, you don't even know. You've done some cool stuff. I was downstairs and I was like, "Yeah, dude, the show was Josh Wolfguy." They were like, "Really? That guy's hilarious. I saw him in Texas." Like everybody's pumped down there that you're up here. They want to come up here.
Fuck yeah, bring him up, man.
Nah, fuck those assholes. I went down there. All the Nutty Buddy bars were gone.
Oh, that's horrific.
I keep them in the freezer. I get one after
Monsters.
PKA. Not this week.